Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. And I'm your host, Cindy Libert, and my special guest today is Donna Mcrae, who is an intuitive spiritual life path design coach, helping you to rediscover you through your own unique essence codes. Now, Donna is gifted in channeled prayer, allowing the universe to open up to and heal what is needed for you in this moment. She is also a skilled ancestral clearing and forgiveness practitioner, as well as a VIP Energetics Practitioner. Now, Donna has had the privilege of helping many experience profound releases for personal growth, as well as physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing. She looks forward to compassionately supporting you in doing the same. Welcome back, Donna.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Cindy. I love to be here with your audience, and happy 2021, everyone.
Woo!
Yes, we're here finally.
Yes.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, definitely. And today we're going to talk about why self-love is crucial in raising your money vibration and embracing a prosperity mindset, which I know is very important not only in our life, in our homes, with our families, but in business as well, or as an entrepreneur. So the first question I'd like to ask you, Donna, is how can we tell how we're doing when it comes to self-love?
I would say, first of all, sort of tune into yourself and kind of ask yourself the question, or just intuitively know, how am I treating myself? Do I judge myself harshly? If I make a little bit of an error in judgment, if you will, I meant to do this, but I didn't do it right. Do I come down on myself? Do I call myself an idiot, or much worse at times? Or do I go, okay, what does that have to show me? And how can I move forward in a more gracious way? It's like when we look at a young child, we look at that child, they're not always treated this way, but we want to think that they're treated kindly. So I always like to say, well, if you're talking to yourself in a really derogatory, negative, beating up kind of a way, would you do that to a young 2 or 3-year-old? Most likely no. So that little young self is still within you. And when we talk so harshly to ourselves, we beat up on ourselves emotionally and verbally, we're beating up that little girl or little boy inside of us. So we really want to pay attention to that, and have compassion for ourselves. When things do go off course a little bit, just have compassion for ourselves, and not think the world is coming to an end because I did this or that, right? It just doesn't work that way. And I think a huge one is too, and I've been very guilty of this as well, comparing ourselves to others.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is, it's huge. And I don't think it really matters in what area it is, whether you're comparing yourself to others as being a parent, being an entrepreneur, being a healer, being a coach in your job, being a good enough daughter. There's no point comparing yourself, because, Cindy, I can't be like you and you can't be like me. Same with everybody that's listening here. We can only be ourselves. We have our own attributes to bring into this world. And when we get out of that rat race or rat wheel, hamster wheel, if you will, of comparing yourselves to others, I didn't do it this good, I didn't do it as good as he or she did, then we can really tap into who we are. And we're actually embracing ourselves and giving ourselves that self-love. Like, I don't need to be like her, because I'm not her and I never can be. I can only be me. And that's what the world needs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and that's so true. We have our own gifts also.
Yeah. If we were all the same, in our comparative ways, life would be so boring. And
True.
we wouldn't learn anything new, whether from ourselves or anybody else. We wouldn't, because
Yes.
everything would just be every day the same thing.
Yes, and that's where self-love comes in. If we really truly love ourselves, we won't have to judge ourselves, compare ourselves to somebody else. And if others are comparing us to someone else, then That's their issue. We know who we are deep down inside, and we know we have a lot to offer to the world, no matter who we are, even if we're a stay-at-home mom and don't have a home business.
Yeah.
It's still
Absolutely.
very important to have that self-love. And I love the fact that you brought up the little children.
Mhm.
You know, it made me the scripture about Jesus when he said, "Have the little children come unto me."
Mhm.
And if we remember who we are and how important we are in our inner child and that self-love, if we just, if we just, what's the word I want? Expand that out, just allow that out. Man, we'd be a totally different person. I used to self-judge myself. I was so critical. I had to be the perfectionist, everything. If I made a mistake in a video, I would redo it 20 times. And then after 30 times, it's like, oh, just do the darn thing. Okay, perfect, got it done. And if I make a mistake, it's like, that's okay. Take
Yeah.
two, take
Yeah.
20, no more, no more take 20s. It's like, let's just do it.
I hear you, right? It's like that perfectionism. Well, nobody's perfect.
Right.
Everybody realizes we're getting out there, we're being ourselves. There's going to be a little bit of oopsies here and there, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah, we're all human.
Exactly.
Self-love. Let's love ourselves more.
Absolutely. I love it.
So, Donna, how does self-love play out in our day-to-day lives?
Okay. I think a lot of times when we're sort of sabotaging ourselves, it comes through in excuses, right? We're not going to be kind
Yes.
enough to ourselves because we're going to, how will I say this? A wonderful opportunity comes our way. Okay. Sometimes we take it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's our fear that stops us. But even if that fear is there, it could be the perfect opportunity for us. But more times than not, a lot of us say to ourselves, oh, like we were just talking about comparing, I can't do it like he or she did. I can't do that. Or it's been done before. What do I have to give? What do I have to share? And so the sad thing is that behind all of these very sad and I would say low energy, watery excuses is our self sabotage, right? We're beating ourselves up against and not allowing ourselves to shine, not allowing ourselves to actually grab hold of where it is that when we came into this, when our soul came into this body, where it is that it intended to be. So we're stopping ourselves, we're sabotaging ourselves all along the way. And excuses I have found are the biggest. They really are the biggest. It's like, okay, well, no, I think I'll just do this instead of that. I'll just, instead of getting at this, I'm just going to get at that. And it's not a case of making yourself work really hard. We want to get to the point where, and it's very easily done, get to the point where it feels good to do it. Because we know we're giving ourselves self-love when it feels good, like getting the pressure off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you were saying with the video, right? It's not perfect, but move forward and just, we find we get excited. We find we feel good about ourselves, right? And then things just tend to work out in a very natural course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling that good and feeling that self-love vibration puts us in the right vibration so that we can be happy and move forward. And if we do whatever we need to get into that vibration.
That's exactly right. And if that fear is there a little or a lot, this big booming voice like, no, that's not me. I can't do that. Just tune in to where is this coming from? Like feel into the body. Where? What are you trying to show me? What are you trying to tell me? And just be gentle on it, saying, yeah, well, we'll move a little bit forward. We'll see how it feels. If you're, need to halt a little bit, we will. But then we'll just inch forward a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yes. Yes. I remember when I was very self-critical of myself, I would say something like, oh, darn. And then I'd tell myself, okay, now I have to tell myself 5 good things about myself.
That's a great trick.
So eventually you start doing that, then, if a self-doubt or self-sabotage came in, I would just let it go. You get to the point where you start appreciating and self-loving yourself.
That's a great trick. That's something that everybody could use, just
Yeah.
when you're down on yourself, when you're telling yourself whatever you're telling yourself, Okay, what 5 good things are there about me?
Yes.
What have I done good? Like in the last week, the last day, what can I celebrate about me?
Yes. And if you can't find anything, ask your friend, ask a family member, because they'll always find something good about
That
you.
is the best thing because they can mirror you. They can show you about you that you can't see in that moment. Deep down, you know, but in that moment, you're going to find everything impossible to shut you down so that you can't move forward.
Yes. Even starting to write it down, my talents, my gifts, what I love about me.
Very true. Writing it
Yeah.
down is extremely powerful. Very powerful.
So what can we do to shut out this, our critical voice?
Oh. The one that keeps coming in, coming in.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes it comes in very, very loudly. For myself and what I've noticed with my clients is it's very beneficial to really, when that self-doubt comes in, when that inner critic, if you will, is just sort of like pounding at your every fiber of your being, is really, like I said a few minutes ago, stop and listen. Acknowledge it. Just stop for a minute. Doesn't take long. You're not gonna marinate in these bad feelings. Just stop and notice and listen again where it's coming in from your body. But then the trick is not to stay in this moment. The trick here is to acknowledge the voice. See, because that's your ego wants to be acknowledged, right? Because if you're shifting and you're changing, it's not only others around you that'll go, whoa, like what happened here? You're not quite the same as you were. But it's your ego because it's used to you being a certain way. So you just want to listen, you want to stop and listen, and then you go and go, thank you for sharing. Thank you. I'll get back to you on that one. But right now, I'm just not going to focus on that. And trust me, or believe me, whatever, when you do this, it's kind of like, it does calm down. It might take a minute or two, but it does calm down. It gets this little practice of going, okay, well, she means business here, but she's not forgetting me. So then you can have that conversation later on this, and it's like, oh, okay. It wasn't as dire as I thought it was, right? It wasn't so big. They just wanted to be acknowledged and listened. And, I find too that the voices that come in and where they come from are more times than not from childhood, things that we were told, things that we heard, things that our beliefs about ourselves. Maybe it's from a peer group at school. Maybe it's from an old boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Maybe it's from some message you heard. Maybe it's from the media. This is what you should be doing, or this is about, okay, well, that's not me. Pardon me. So that's not who I am and how I should be. So it's those voices and learning to listen. That's why I say when we stop and we listen and we go within, we feel where it's coming from and we're listening for what that message was. And then we kind of continue to feel into it and we can kind of get to the core root of it. Like, where did that actually come from? And is it true? Is it true? Because more times than not, it's not true. It's a message you got as a child or a teenager, a young adult, and you've continued to carry it on and live with it and live with it and live with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought. I know some women, they don't even like to look at themselves in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that helped me come out of being shy and some of my past issues was really looking every time I went into the bathroom, I would look in the mirror, but I would also eye contact and tell myself everything's okay, everything's well,
Yeah.
you can do this, whatever
Exactly.
positive stuff that we need to say to ourselves. But it's looking at ourselves straight in the eye.
Yeah.
And,
It's
even
when you
saying, I have
acknowledge
self-love.
yourself.
Yeah, acknowledge
Yeah.
yourselves.
That's a absolutely great point there, Cindy. We're acknowledging ourselves. Okay, I see you.
Mhm.
I see you. You're looking right at you. I see you. Other people might not see you the way you want to treat yourself. Like with self-love, it's like we want to treat ourselves as we wish for or want others to treat us.
Exactly.
And it's
Yeah.
when we do this, that's how other people can see how she wants to be treated.
Hmm.
And it's a practice. It's just a practice. And it's a very nurturing self-love.
Yes.
It's a nurturing practice. It's very healthy. It makes you feel good.
Yes. Yeah. And these are things that we can really do for ourselves. And
Mhm.
we get to a point where if there's deeper wounds, well, that's when, counselors like you can help us
Yeah.
get rid of
Get to
those.
the root cause and see where it actually stemmed from. Because more times than oftentimes, I should say, it's not even our stuff.
Mhm.
It goes through our lineage because we get passed down through epigenetics, which is a scientifically proven term. It comes through our DNA.
Mhm.
And we are here to resolve that in this lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know you're very intuitive,
Yes.
so you can really help people on a deeper level with
Mhm.
issues and
Yeah. And
developing self-love.
very quickly. It
Yes.
can be done very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get rid of all that stuff,
Yeah.
gunk and junk, as I like to call it, all that gunk
Yes.
and junk that holds us back,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Donna, if I'm living in self-love, how will I know and how will I feel?
Okay. Well, how will I say this? When we really tune into ourselves and we really know, and we really, how we're tuning into ourselves, we're really actually getting to the point of feeling our inner feelings and knowing that that is our true core essence. We begin to feel strong. We sit up straighter, we carry ourselves differently. We don't necessarily always, we don't, not, I don't mean necessarily, we don't tend to take other people's opinions and thoughts and words as truth.
Mhm.
We can actually sit back and go to them quietly within ourselves. We're actually going, okay, where does that come from? Where we were and still are doing with ourselves when these thoughts and feelings come in. But we're looking and examining others and go, okay, well, they're human too. They're no different than me. So what they're saying, what they're feeling, what they're putting on to me, if you will, is it actually true? And when we step into that place, we end up taking much, much better care of ourselves. When we're actually living in self-love, we eat better. We feel that we want to eat better. We feel that we want to exercise more, whether that's going for a daily walk. We feel that we want to do this. We feel that we want to give our mind and our body and our soul good things that are actually going to flourish and expand us. We'll treat ourselves to that beautiful hot bubble bath that maybe we didn't feel that we had time for, and other people always needed us, so we didn't do that. We treat ourselves to whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be things that are cost money. It doesn't have to be that. It could be return to a good friend that we haven't talked to for a while. We give ourselves that nurturing space to actually allow ourselves to have a long conversation. These days on the phone or through Zoom, but it's still nurturing, right? We might tend to give ourselves the gift of stillness, of really being in touch with ourselves. We may turn to meditation more and gift ourselves with the essence, the trueness of who we are.
Mhm.
Right. So when we're actually in this state of self-love, we feel strong, we feel healthy, and we just know we are because we're doing things differently. We're not just maybe sitting, vegging out on Netflix or eating junk food, which is fine at times, but not on a steady diet. And we're just kind of more in tune with ourselves and what our body needs and wants. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very empowering.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you.
And
So,
also, if I can just add too,
mhm.
we will tend to notice at times that people start to treat us differently because they're noticing a difference and a shift in us that, hmm, well, they either tend to back off a little bit and observe. And then once they've actually noticed you and kind of like this kind of newness about you, they tend to open up and think, okay, well, this feels good to me too. So why wouldn't I?
Mhm. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Donna, why do you feel that self-love is crucial to raising your money vibration and embracing a prosperity mindset?
Okay. Well, we've probably all heard the phrase kind of like, what we think about, we bring about. Okay. So it's like what we're marinating in, the thoughts that we're feeling all the time. Basically, we're going to get that brought back into our life. So if we're always down on ourselves, calling ourselves this or that, we're pretty much guaranteed to get more of the things coming into our life. They're going to prove that as truth. Okay. So we can't be thinking really good thoughts and have really bad things coming in, because it's not possible. The universe gives us what we put out. So when we're asking, when we start to be kind to ourselves, then things tend to flow much better towards us, like money, certain opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities, strictly energy. And it's responding to our energy. So if we're wanting to create more money, more wealth in every area of our life, more success in our business where we feel good, we need to focus, first of all, on self-love and who we are.
Mhm.
Because then that's just going to exude from us, because we repel things that we aren't. Right. So if we're wanting money and we're totally beating up on ourselves, we're wanting success in this business that we absolutely think is amazing and could do wonders for other people and ourselves, but we're beating up on ourselves all the time. Well, there's a disconnect. It's not going to work. So you got to bring within yourself everything that you want to experience, everything that you want to see. And then it's almost like magic, I guess, if you will. The vibrations shift and everything flows so much nicer. Yeah.
I love that.
It's actually very simple, right? It's not always easy, because we have to retrain, whether for some of us it's 60 years, 20 years, 40 years, whatever, 80 years of thought. But each day with just a little bit of going, oh, I hear you. Not at this moment, but I hear you. Thanks for sharing. Acknowledge it's there and then move forward. So baby steps.
Yeah, I like that.
Good.
Well, Donna, you have a free gift for us. It's a guided meditation
Yes.
and titled Moving into Self-Love. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, this is a channeled meditation that really just kind of opens up and expands our heart space, which is our core. I do a lot of work with the essence codes, and that's our each and our own individual DNA, right? Our own little imprint. That's why it's pointless to compare ourselves to others, because we have our own little imprint and it's different from everyone. So it opens up the heart chakra, just opens it up for more self-love to come in. And I feel that if you listen to this meditation, well, as often as you intuitively feel to, I would say. Generally, I think once a day is awesome. It's not terribly long, and it's go to sleep with it. It's lovely. To sort of expand you, and it will help to release some of the energy that's been hanging on, holding you back.
Beautiful. That sounds beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. And everyone, you can get Donna Mcrae's free gift below. There's a button, just click on it, and her information is there also. And her website, you can find her at donnamcrae.com.
Yep.
And I know, Donna, that you help one-on-ones, you've done group calls, I've heard you on summits, and you have monthly calls also.
Yeah, I have monthly calls, and they're twice a month on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday for 2 times a month. And we have different topics, and there's a lot of clearing. We do sort of like a channel clearing at the beginning. It takes about 10 minutes. And then we work interactively with the people on the call. And
Wonderful.
what the beautiful part with the group healings, the group calls, I should say, is the energy works, seems to be quite magnetic, actually. It works. What one person is
Wow.
working on is actually for the whole group. So it's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great. Fantastic. Well, anything else you'd like to say to our audience?
No, I
Of
just
course.
thank you so much for having me. I think this is an amazing topic, and I just love to spread the word and help everybody to sort of move into who they are and the truth of themselves, right? Our own
Right.
individual blueprint. Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, for having me.
You're welcome. And I wish everybody a happy day, and we will see you again soon. So bye for now.
Bye bye.